It's August the 13th, 2025, and you know why you're here, so let's kick this off right and introduce the players. Hey, I am Jerasar, a WoW esports aficionado.
Hey guys, it's Big Moran, and I'm a sub-rogue apologist.
Hey, it's Trisap Jake, and I'm a multi-expansion version shaman main. There we go. Say that fast.
Guys, oh my gosh, I love you. I missed you. It's been so long. We're just talking about this off stream. It's been since December. It's been 8 months. Holy moly.
Yes.
So
wait a second. When The War Within was released, I think, in around December, right? Like we've gone through almost the entire expansion.
no.
Or am I crazy?
I think you're crazy.
Wait.
Fact checkers.
Maybe.
Fact checkers.
Yeah.
Let's fact check this.
We need somebody in the stream fact checked us. Okay.
Oh no, The War Within was August 2024. Okay, yeah, I'm crazy.
Okay.
Ignore me.
Yeah, because we had already been in season 1. We took the break. We were supposed to start in season 2. We didn't. And here we are. Season 3 started, and we're back. We're back with vigor. We're back with gusto, I guess. Feeling relaxed, refreshed. First, Jake, I gotta talk to you because you were like major classic. You're on the classic train pretty hard there. You're doing, Mr. Pandaria just launched too, but now you're playing retail again.
Oh my god, I've been through the ringer. Let me tell you, I was so disheartened with season 2 that I went all the way back and played Classic Anniversary, grinded all the way to rank 13, taken a little break since then. Got onto Mr. Pandaria, played, leveled my Shaman and Warlock, and now I'm also back on retail doing M+ and PvP. I don't know what's happened to me. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I've just been sucked in by everyone and their mother saying to me, hey, come play this version of the game. I'm like, yeah, all right, fine, because I want friends and stuff, you know?
Why do you want friends?
I need them for stuff. to feel like I belong.
But you do belong. So quick question to you is, so back to Mr. Pandaria Classic and the whole lack of looking for group for PvP. Did that impact you at all?
No, I've got it's one of those weird things where I think MoP is very, and like a lot of the classics like Kata and MoP specifically, it's one of those sort of things where you kind of go there with friends, and I went there with a friend, and you queue with the friends, right? And that's how it is. People wanting to relive that moment, relive that period in time, and it's definitely, I think it's been a fun time in general. So actually, I joined a guild recently on my Shaman that is just a PvP guild, and there are tons of people looking for PvP there. So yeah. I don't think it's shy of having options for yourself at all. I think there's plenty of opportunity. I just think they've made a bit of a mess by releasing it a couple weeks before the new retail season, and then also making leveling really difficult because people will give up, you know?
Yeah.
And that was, I think, the issue, my personal issue with it. But it's fun otherwise. Like, I mean, the PvP's funnish. It's just like everything. Well, I mean, everything's got agency, it feels like, which is great. But then I feel like everyone's so unbelievably good at the game now that, you know, everyone is just able to min-max exactly how they should be played. And so my experience, I played PvP in MoP, and I remember it vividly. It's actually the first time I made a video, created videos back in MoP, and I played Shaman. It was when I first started playing Shaman. So when I play Shaman now versus when I played then, I have no idea what I'm doing. If I look at the video, I am not playing at all the same way I'm playing now. My understanding of it is completely different. So if my little understanding of MoP is completely different and way better in comparison to then, other people's who play day in, day out must be they must be in the 5th dimension.
Yeah. So I've been trying to get into it and dabble on it, and I'll admit I'm not even at max level yet. Like that grind is something, but I can't even imagine. Like I could not imagine right now trying to go up against somebody doing PvP that like going into arena and not like I might as well just put my face on the keyboard and drool like for how good I'll feel. So I can only imagine like if you know what you're doing and you're still feeling that against somebody that is doing this day in and day out, that yeah, that's something.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
For sure. And
yeah.
you've also got, like battlegrounds and stuff like that you're jumping into. They're almost more fun because
Yeah.
everyone's just kind of doing whatever,
Mhm.
And it's the good battlegrounds as well. You've got Gilneas, you've got like Kot Mogu, you got all the kind of fun ones that
Silver
you
Shard.
knew the kind of Silver Shard as well. The ones that you sort of enjoyed from retail are
Mhm.
also in MOP, and it's like MOP class design, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And then these
is
great sort of retail based BGs are fun, and then also obviously Arena.
Yeah. It has the original Deep Wing Gorge, right? The one where you have to run the ball, run the carts.
Bugged though, that is bugged. It's a very strange bug where if you try and return the enemy cart, it joins to you, so you just have to like hold on to it and hope no one kills you.
You become
very
one
strange.
with the cart.
Yeah, there are a few bugs, and I will say that the thing that's the most impressive about MOP Classic in general, I'm sure like Big's got a fair few ideas on this as well. One of the things that's so impressive about it is the response from the developers on X, for example. They've been incredible. I had an issue the other day where I was coming out of Arena and it would like reset my talent points every single time, and I was like, what is going on? So I tweeted them, and they immediately got back to me. It's insane.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine if we had that in retail? Imagine if we had that in retail.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if they can handle it though. Like again, they would need to have some dedicated people to do that.
Yeah, but they exist.
Yeah.
They
Well,
probably
they do.
exist.
I hope so. Hopefully, maybe,
You'd hope so.
possibly. How about you, Big though? Have you been playing any Classic? What have you been up to?
I was excited for MOP, but it dropped when I was on vacation, and I was like, I'm not gonna level when I'm on vacation, no way. And then when I got back, I had to immediately get back to work, and that meant transitioning to making retail guides. So now I don't know really what I should do. I would like to play MOP, if I had a character that was already 90 and geared up, I would definitely play. But yeah, the little hump at the beginning is pretty well, it's not a little hump. I mean, you have to level for 25 hours or whatever.
Yep.
Grind BGs. So with that overlapping with the retail season, I think I'm probably going to be focusing just on retail.
Okay.
But who knows? Maybe I'll jump into MOP at some point. But because I know there is a way where you can pay to be leveled AFK in MOP. Maybe it's time to bust out the WoW tokens. But yeah, I'm gonna be focusing on retail.
So okay, let's talk about that elephant in the room then. Like, I personally, I want to have agency in my character. I want to level it. I want to not feel like I cheese the leveling experience by paying somebody gold to level my character just by AFKing and them doing a bunch of work and then coming back, hey, look at that, I'm max level, and then doing whatever. How do you feel about it? Do you feel the same, or are you actually okay with sorry, saying that in a bit of a biased way, but are you okay with paying somebody to level you while AFKing?
Oh, 100% I am. Leveling is the thing I hate the most in WoW, I think.
Really?
I mean, I know, yes. Oh, I dread leveling. Whenever expansion releases, I'm always like absurdly slow at getting to max level, and it's always a little bit embarrassing from my perspective. So if that work could be done, automatically, I would definitely love it. My attention span is actually really bad. Maybe it's just something about attention spans in general. But man, mine is like exceptionally bad these days. So like sitting down and dedicating a few hours to questing, I can't do it. I can't do it these days.
That's fair. That's fair. I personally, I can. Although I will admit, when I was leveling, I was like kind of reading the quest a little bit, and I was like having little nostalgia moments in that. And I think I was about halfway through the Veil, the initial like starter quest. But probably about 4 hours into that, and then I was like, by that time I was just clicking, yep, next, onto the next one, not even reading, clicking
Yeah.
on the map, seeing where I had to go to, running there, and then like sometimes I'd have to go and hit Wowhead just to figure, or like actually open up the quest and read it to figure out what I'm doing wrong or what I'm missing. But yeah, definitely lost patience in the leveling experience. But I don't know. Maybe it's because it's like I'm playing BM Hunter, and so I don't really know that. So I'm just kind of enjoying the whole learning the buttons and learning what to press and controlling my pet. So maybe that's why. Anyway, but
I think it sort of depends, really.
Yeah.
Actually, like on leveling, it really depends when you're leveling. I think original vanilla WoW, the reason why we keep getting classic freshes and stuff, is because that leveling, the original leveling sort of process. Although I never managed to do it as a kid, when I do it now, I actually really enjoy it. Like I couldn't do it more than maybe like twice in a year, but the first couple of times I do it, it is really enjoyable, and it's because of that fantasy element. You kind of become immersed. The later expansions, some of the quests are good. Like Wrath is really good, and TBC is also really good, but they're closer to the original. When you get to Catan, you get to Mop and Wad, etc. It's a chore because they're trying to keep that MMO aspect on a game that has kind of lost its kind of fantasy, because we're destroying gods and whatever. And that's boring. Like it's kind of boring when you go in there. I'm not as sort of involved in the story anymore. I don't feel like the random farmer that's picked up this pitchfork and now I've got a sword because I've like worked super hard and killing these kobolds, and now I've sort of got a bit of money and I've got a bit more gear. That kind of feeling doesn't exist anymore in these sort of at this point in the expansion, so you don't really have that kind of fancy. And it's like for me, like I also have a bad attention span, like you're saying, Big, like as well. It's a bit rough to sit down and kind of commit to that time, but original classic does like hook me in because of that fancy aspect the others don't have.
Oh, I find with original classic, like there's a bunch of quests where you need to have friends, like you need to have somebody helping you. You need to like get together with some people, and especially on the fresh ones where there's a bunch of people are all leveling at the same time. You're all together. You're progressing the same towards the same thing. Like when I was running around in Mist of Pandaria, obviously I wasn't there when Classic opened. I think it was a little bit later on. I think it was like a week after, so it wasn't in that big wave. There's a few people around every once in a while, but for the most part, I'm just soloing. Like I'm just all by myself. So I think that's also the case where if you're with people and you're leveling together and you're like chat, there's things going on in chat in the general area, or even just /say, it's a bit more exciting versus if you're just by yourself. It just becomes a little bit brain dumb. Like I just like my brain just shuts off. So maybe that's why. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'll say for myself, these last few months. So I know I kind of disappeared off Twitter as well for a little, or X, if you want to call it that. Definitely paid a bit more attention to my family, my wife. Started binge watching a bunch of TV shows. I was playing off and on. So last season, I joined one of my guild's raid teams. They were going for Mythic Kill, and I wasn't doing well enough on my Shaman, my LA Shaman, to meet that. So I got benched, which is fine. I was actually holding the team back, which is totally okay. But I ended up getting, I think I got Heroic for that went away, for Ahead of the Curve went away. And then for the most part, just was like super casual. And then of course there was the July, the bountiful buff. So I went super hardcore trying to get mounts that I had never gotten. So I finally got Invincible. Finally got that, and got a bunch of other mounts and a whole bunch of transmog in that. So that was super cool. But I'm actually very thankful that I never have to step foot back in Icecrown Citadel ever again.
Yeah. That event was the best event I think
It was
WoW's
so
ever
good.
done. Like, Jake, are you familiar with what we're talking about?
Yeah. I'm actually the reverse of the bountiful in the fact that I'm sort of purposefully not getting getting mounts
What?
because Yeah, no, I've done the reverse. I've not gone for anything.
You sat it
I,
out.
Yeah, no, that maybe I'm just a loser. Anyway, move on, Big. You go. What were you gonna say?
yeah, no, I'm with Garrison. I'm so happy I never have to run Ulduar again. You know, like
Oh,
I got
yeah.
my Mimron's head. That was my
Nice.
chase. That's the mount I've wanted for all these years.
Mhm.
Finally got it. Was really happy about that. But yeah, that event made me like I had not really been playing WoW too much over the past few months, but
Yeah.
that event had me logged in every single day.
Yeah.
You know, and that was cool. So I mean, presumably they're gonna do something like that every year now because that was just insanely successful from my point of view.
You know,
Yeah.
so I'll say that I think it was super successful. I think it was great. I'm glad they did it. I don't know if they should do it every year. Maybe like
Oh.
every
Have
5
we
years.
lost Garrus?
Hold on.
Did you guys lose me? Hello.
Yeah, we
No.
lost you for a sec.
Oh,
You're
wow.
back.
Okay. Oh, hey, weird. Oh, wow. I just dropped a whole bunch of frames. I guess my internet just went. Oh, okay. Anyways. Oh, green bar again. Good. So yeah, I don't think they should do it every year though. I think they should do it like maybe every 5 years or something. But I feel like every year it'll just be too much. Like it'll
Yeah.
just become another grind, another thing. And then we'll forget about it until it's like, oh yeah. You know, it's like, oh shoot, Darkwing Fair. Oh yeah. Other than that though, I did that, and then right before the season opened, all right, you know, just before end of season and into the preseason, I hopped back on my Warlock and tried to get used to playing that again, and tried to grind out as much honor and conquest to at least fill out the transmog for the basic set, and also try to have enough of a pool to get. Oh, at first I was hoping to get enough honor to have the 11,000 whatever to get honor gear during the preseason, and then the gear wasn't available. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess I can try to like do a few other things. So, still, got enough. What was it, the bloodstones? So I got a few more of those and banked up a bunch more honor, but I didn't end up. I think I ended up with like 8,000 honor in the bank before 11 or before season 3 launched on reset here. But I haven't even logged in yet since reset. So, but I know that there's a bunch of people that like Mortai and a few other people in our Discord were all talking about how they're filling out their vaults and everything. So I had tier. Saw a bunch of other people doing that. So there's already people with 2 set. Because they did the PvE, and I just want a quick shout out to the devs. So I don't know if anybody was paying attention. Server reset on Tuesday for NA, Wednesday for EU, and the vendors didn't have the varnish to churn PvE gear to scale with PvP. Bunch of people went to Twitter. I think Sturgy, Absturge went on there. A few people went to the official forums, and I think it was like just a couple hours ago the devs went on and enabled the lacquer, the varnish on the conquest vendor. So those people that did the effort to get tier gear are able to now make it for PvP eye level, and so I think that's really awesome. I think kudos to them for doing that. I'm a little pissed though. Like, why did we have to go to social? Why did we have to go to the devs and beg them to enable something? It's like they forgot about us, about PvP. And then I don't know if you guys saw, but there's also a bunch of bugs right now with 11.2 and like graveyard resing in the battlegrounds and that. And I have to say, this has been again another buggy patch launch, especially for PvP. And I'm a little miffed about that. Actually, more than a little miffed. I'm getting really tired of this.
Yeah. Do you know what would make it better?
What,
It would if there was like a little account that on Twitter went, "Hey guys, we know there's a load of bugs. Don't worry, we're fixing them. But for now, here's a list of them all."
that'd
Sorry.
be awesome.
No, that'd be great. It would have been fantastic. But
that
there's
would-
nothing. Silence. Oh, don't worry, guys. We've added this in for you Thanks
Mhm.
for letting us know. Silence. Nothing. So yeah. I mean,
actually, I don't even see. I don't know if there's a blue post even. I just remember seeing again Absterge announced that he saw it on the vendor. So I don't even know if they did the patch notes yet for the hot fixes saying they enabled it. I so here's something. Over the past, so this is something I noticed over the past 8 months that we weren't doing the podcast is, and I'm not saying that we're the end all be all of being positivity, but I started seeing a lot more negativity in the PvP social media spheres, like things on forums, things on Reddit, things on X, a bunch of people complaining, between WoW being dead, the seasons being dead, all this, people being very vocal on how much the PvE side of World of Warcraft is getting content and how little PvP is getting. And I don't like, so I think especially in retail, and throughout all of World of Warcraft, PvP has almost been kind of an evergreen system and how it's been treated. And in a way, it's true. Like, we don't need a new. Can you imagine if we had a new battleground or a new raid, a new arena every time they launched a new raid? Like that, to me, that's insane. Like, I don't think we need that.
Yeah.
We definitely, as PvPers, we definitely like to try to play something and figure it out and figure out all the nuances, figure out the best spec, figure out the best positioning on the map, figure out if you're playing this comp against that comp, you do this. If you're playing this comp against a different comp, then, you change your talents this way, you change your positioning, figure out those, well, except for RMP, you just figure out how to count to 3. Not kidding. But that's the thing, like that's what we do for PvPers. So I feel like if we got content every time there was a new season, like a new map in that, it'd be too much. So I'm okay with only getting a map every once in a while. They change specs often enough that it still feels new. You're still trying to refigure that out. But so I don't agree that we need to have content that fast as far as PvP. But at the same time, like I feel like there's still something to the negative side that we've been seeing on socials and that. I don't know. How do you guys feel about it? Do you agree with me or am I?
No,
I'm just a grumpy old man.
I definitely have seen a lot more negativity. I mean, WoW, let's be honest, WoW players are typically, especially PvPers, are typically a bit negative about things. So it's kind of par for the course. But I think there's kind of been a staling of the game. Like there's like a perfect example is on the release schedule that they post every year. There was, for season 3, it said seasonal rewards refresh, as one of the core features of the 11.2 patch. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there were literally 0 reward changes for PvP, right? Like,
I didn't see any.
We got the gladiator mount reskinned after complaining.
Yeah.
But that's another good example of like neglect, right? The mount, man. Like when they showed the PvE mounts for the season, they're like purple and looked ethereal and all crazy. And then they showed the glad mount, it was just like the same bat. And then people are like, what the hell, man?
Yeah.
And then
a darker shade of gray.
Yes. it took us, bullying basically on Twitter and forums and everywhere in order for that to change. And it's like at some point you just get really tired of that. Like I'm a WoW, I wouldn't say I'm an optimist, but I like WoW. I want WoW to succeed, and I try my hardest to see the good in WoW, and give the developers maybe like some credit where credit is due. But lately I have been a bit more pessimistic about things, and yeah, it's just so I completely understand where you're coming from.
Okay. All right. So I'm not the grumpy old man that I feel like then.
No.
All right. How about you,
Definitely
Jake?
not.
Are you grumpy old man too?
No. I think I've earned the stubborn man title. Especially as I have multitudes of people telling me to give up every single day. and I just repost the same GIF of Tim Allen from that Space Quest.
Yeah.
I want to say from 2000. Yeah, never give up, never surrender.
Yeah,
that's it. And I think those are words to live by. Like the truth is that PvPers are negative, PvPers are depresso, and I think that's fine because we've always been sort of the neglected end of the WoW development side of things, especially, you know, as time has gone on. But I feel like what I have seen on a slightly more positive spin is that the MoP Classic PvP devs, and I keep going back to it, but the MoP Classic PvP devs showing interest and responding have, I think, given a lot of people hope. Now, the problem is, as sort of Big was saying, is that we've got this unfortunate situation where even when nice things happen, we're kind of going, well, hold on, we're happy about this, but why wasn't this done in the first place? And I think the issue we keep kind of running into as a community is that we have this moment, this clarity, this sort of realization, this sudden epiphany of this is how things should be.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to kind of just, I feel like, and maybe this makes me sound like a shill, but I do think we need to just thank them and be like, at least they did it. They could have just done nothing, and we could have been in this position where we've got a terrible Glad mount again, instead of going, you know what, thanks for doing that. Because maybe if we're just a little bit like, thanks guys, they'll be like, oh yeah, okay, maybe we do this more often. These guys are pretty cool. And then suddenly we've got this awesome relationship again with the WoW devs and the game that we pay. And I understand a lot of people are like, well, we pay to play it, you know, we pay for them, so they should do it. And it's true, like it's not wrong, but at the same time, if you kind of believe in some sort of strange karmic system, that if we're nice to the devs will also be nice to us. And I know that a lot of the time it's done to stop the clamor and stop the shouting, but actually I think if you look at the MoP devs, the MoP PvP devs, the way that we're lovely to them and they're lovely to us back, I think that's just the way that it should be. People realize that the screaming of the past doesn't work.
Yeah, I agree. I never understood the screaming at the devs, like, and some of the horrible things I've seen people say. Just so case in point, when as soon as I saw that again, like the Varnish, when they did that, I did a tweet saying thank you to the devs, and same with the reskin or the recolor of the Glad bat, or well, not, you know what I mean. And I agree. I think that just being nice and thanking them for listening and being responsive is what needs to happen. It's almost like I feel bad for them. I feel bad because we have a bunch of people who play World of Warcraft. We have a bunch of, we're a bunch of gaming nerds, right? And sometimes when players spend that much time in front of a video game, we lose some of our social graces, I think. And then again, the devs end up receiving that that loss of social grace. So I think you're right. Being nice and is what we need to do. I think. So I want to give Big. I want to give you a little pulpit here for a second.
Yes.
RuneScape and and World of Warcraft. You had fun with that. I saw that on X.
Oh yes, but a little bit too much fun. I learned that. I learned two things. Okay, one, people who play RuneScape evidently have a lot of time on their hands, probably because they click a tree and AFK for 10 minutes. That's number one thing I learned. Number two, and this is something I actually messaged Vinruki about last night, and it kind of relates to what we've just been talking about. Kinda, but I think people have this like pathological hate towards WoW, where they really they think the game is dying, dead. They've been saying it for years. Anyone who plays WoW is, out of touch. The game fell off. Whatever they say, it to me it feels like deeply pathological because, and that was when I showed the view counts. Granted, they are a bit inflated right now because of Race World First.
Yeah.
You cannot tell me with a straight face that WoW is dead. Like it is still the most popular MMO in the world.
Absolutely.
And it's been what 20 years now it's been out. I mean, that's a long time for a game to continue to be this successful. But
Yeah.
there's certain people who just refuse to acknowledge that for whatever reason or another. And I didn't watch, I like Mad Season's videos. Shout out to Mad Season. But when I saw the title of his video that they're supposed exodus to old school RuneScape, I was like, are you kidding me? Like, of course some streamers have been playing RuneScape. I know Zaryu has, Soda Poppin has, Savix, that whole little classic crew has been playing RuneScape. That does not constitute an exodus to me. Like that, definitely not. There's still millions of people playing retail, enjoying the game, and we have a expansion release around the corner. We have player housing around the corner.
Oh my gosh.
The game is going to continue to be the biggest MMO in the near future. I mean, nothing against RuneScape players, even though I've been roasting them. Nothing against, if you enjoy that game, you enjoy that game, but don't like use your enjoyment of another game to like attack WoW. Like that seems silly. So yeah, that's my take. Also, I think with certain people are just kind of burnt out of Classic. Like, let's be honest, I don't even know how many times they've re-released Vanilla at this point. It's like twice. they've had Vanilla Classic and then Vanilla Classic again, where they do like the I don't know the type of server, fresh, whatever they call it, where they restart the server. Like they've done Vanilla WoW like 5 times at this point. Like, of course these people are gonna get bored and they're gonna look for other games to play. And evidently they're not playing retail; they're playing RuneScape.
So I remember seeing somebody say that they were upset that their favorite streamer was no longer streaming WoW Classic because there was no money to be made in it. So they went to go find something else, and it happened to be, I think it was RuneScape that they went to. And let's be honest. I mean, if anybody's streaming to as their job, I mean, if they're not making money, they have to go somewhere. They have to make money to live. You wouldn't. We can't get upset because somebody is trying to make a living streaming and going to somewhere where they're actually getting viewership and they're actually getting tips and subs for doing that. As for like, again, and anybody that has ever streamed World of Warcraft trying to make money, if you are not a variety streamer, then you are beholden to the fast and the famine that is or famine, sorry, the feast and famine that is World of Warcraft content. Mind you, it's much better now, but anybody that was doing it, even like Jesus, Mr. Pandaria, like like good luck trying to keep content fresh when you're sitting through a year-long content drought, right? So
yeah, exactly. And I think it's one of those sort of things where people just assume that because a bunch of streamers are doing that, that must mean that's what's happening. Well, guys, hold on. Zaryu, Peekaboo, Savix, and random WoW streamer number 5 have gone to RuneScape. The Exodus is coming. They're all leaving en masse. Everyone's migrating. WoW is dead for the 2 millionth time. It's like, what? Just calm down. Relax. Breathe. Not everyone is left.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot spread, admittedly. I will say this, like with WoW, there is a spread of people. There are lots of people still playing Classic Anniversary. There's a lot of people still playing the Legacy era of, but this is another thing big to speak on your point, how many servers there are. There is a Classic Anniversary server, and then there is still the Legacy Classic era from the first original Classic launch, where people still turn up every single week and raid Naxx. Every single week, they're still turning up and raiding Naxx. And that's the thing that's mental, right? These people are doing Naxx every single week, to just for whatever reason. There are still people going on and playing that. There are people that are playing MOP Classic. There are people playing Retail.
Mhm.
It's like a four-way split, and hardcore as well. Of course, I can't forget that. I mean, technically, Classic has been released multiple times because you've got hardcore servers as well, both the original and in Anniversary. So we're spread, but I think that's a big point in your favor in the sense that like no game, even though old school RuneScape is a sort of classic version in itself, no game has this level of pull in so many like different facets of its existence.
Right.
Like wow, nothing exists like that.
I,
And although we are a small minor part of that, we're still one of the most unique competitive PvP game modes that has existed because nothing exists like us and nothing ever will. I don't think.
yeah.
And there's also that image people were posting of the week 1 raid and PvP numbers of MOP compared to the
Oh,
previous expansions,
yeah.
which I found like potentially a bit misleading because of, as we talked about before, the fact that leveling in MOP takes an absurd amount of time compared to the old expansions. So I wouldn't be surprised if the number, well, I bet the numbers are maybe a bit definitely lower than Wrath, but I would venture to say that MOP Classic is at least as popular as Kata in terms of numbers, and I'm sure we're gonna see those numbers rise over the next few weeks. And again, like it just really sucks that Blizzard decided to release all this content within a 2-week period of one another. You know,
Yeah.
the MOP release and then 2 weeks later 11.2. That was I can't wrap my head around why like
Hmm.
at least one of those could be like why 11.2 couldn't have been delayed maybe at least
Yeah.
like a week or two. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I
um
don't know.
so
I
there's
honestly, I kind of
probably
wish
some
I kind of wish they had, because between that and again back to the bountiful buff, like I didn't have enough time to do everything I wanted to do.
yeah.
Yeah.
um
I think,
so yeah, I think MOP Classic numbers I think will be good, at least internally. What I've seen at like skill capped with the data I see, like MOP seems to be on the PvP side more popular than Kata. Not as popular as Wrath, but
Mhm.
in between Wrath and Kata, which is, you know, I'm happy about that. I think people should be.
Me too. I feel like they hyped up MOP PvP a lot more, and the fact that again the devs changed it up a little bit and made it fresh. It wasn't just a copy and paste of what MOP PvP was back when MOP was original, with the whole, twos can give you titles and the mount, the change that they made to the dampening, and a bunch of other tweaks that they did. I feel like it's at least it's fresh. It's not just a repeat, right? Anyway,
Yeah.
okay, up and coming. So 11.2 just got dropped. Here we are, season 3 just started. We have Gamescom just around the corner. I think next week we're gonna have the midnight reveal, which is pretty exciting. I know we're gonna see some stuff about player housing. I think they have a full test bed for people to play there, so we're probably gonna see a whole bunch of content about player housing. And then also just today they announced 11.2.5, which is going to be a Legion remix.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Wow.
just got announced today. They did a WoWcast with it with the designer and the producer. Honestly, I'm actually pretty excited about it. It looks really good. I just want to talk about that one quickly. I tweeted about it, but I'm really curious what Legion remix is going to look like with PvP templates,
Oh.
because Legion
that's
has
a
the
good point.
templates.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna be there, right? I mean, if they're staying original.
Right.
And the remix servers, those are separate servers, right? Like that's its own thing,
Yep.
and then you can transfer the characters over. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So it has its own gearing. It's the same gear, but they have other stuff. It's all accelerated. They're gonna phase it, so it's not gonna be a whole dump of a whole expansion, but it's gonna be like, it's not gonna be like the end part of the expansion, and you do like the whole expansion all the way up to the end, and you can just binge it the whole time. If you want to no life it, this is going to be every 2 weeks. They're going to be putting out a new patch, bringing in the new content and that. But yeah, they even have like a whole bunch of, you know, I think world bosses and have the so the bronze coins to get transmog and a whole bunch of other stuff. But yeah, I'm wondering. And so the other thing I remember when I did Legion, I remember some of the templates, like the stat weighting was a little wonky. I think like one of them, it was like any of the PvP theory crafters were like this class should be haste, then mastery, then crit, and it was like the PV template was crit, mastery, haste. which was ridiculous because when you went to arena, you know, crit was nerfed, and so you know, you weren't very good, or you felt like you were doing something wrong. And so I wonder, either they disable PvP templates, which, okay, interesting, in which case then I guess, like, was the PvP gear even any good? Like, I don't remember what the stats on it was.
All that mattered was your item level.
Yeah.
And how upgraded your artifact weapon was.
Yeah.
Like, that was the only thing that really influenced player power. But like item level it barely influenced player power.
Well, that's because they had the scaling too, right? Like a person in green could go to somebody max level, eye level, and they had like a 5% power difference.
Yeah, that's it. Which was an amazing time to play alts. Like all you needed to do was level. I kind of wish they'd go back to that system. I think the templates were, it was definitely an experimental feature at the time, and I think it would work well with this day and age. Because I think gearing right now is pretty good, but it's still a bit confusing, especially for a new player. Like try to imagine someone coming back to the game and explaining how crafting works, how tier sets work, how you have to use this spark, and how you get it's like it's good for players who've already been playing the game, but maybe not so friendly for newer players. But the the templates were like, that's foolproof. you can't mess that up.
Well, a bunch of people hated them because they couldn't, you couldn't make a haste build, and then you couldn't make a mastery build, right?
This I think WoW players will hate anything, like, because I even hated it too. But I thought it was lame. But looking back on it, I was like, oh, that was actually kind of a good idea. Like, I'd want that again.
I feel like there's a lot of good ideas that they have that we hate, and they're like, oh, we'll never touch on this again. And they were like, oh no, actually guys, if you did this a slightly different way, we'd love it. And they're like, nope, you said you hated it, that's it, done, never again. And then it just never appears. There's like so many systems where it's just like, nope, never appears. Kind of like Symbiosis, right, from MOP Classic. I feel like such a cool concept, never touched again, ever. So it's kind of like, where's that gone? Like, where's that technology gone? What's the developments, behind that has just been cut dead because everyone was like, this is god awful. Instead of kind of going, that's interesting. Why can we find a way for other classes to interact with each other in this same kind of concept? So I feel like that's one of the major issues that we have.
I thought with Symbiosis, it's not that a bunch of people were saying it was god awful. I felt that it was because we're typical gamers, we figured out what the best was. So if you do Symbiosis with anybody other than that spec, you're just wasting DPS for the whole raid, or it really was raiding. Is where a lot of it came from. So if you're like, hey, I'm I'm a warlock, you should Symbiosis me, and they're like, no, the mage is here, and they're gonna get it. It's no different than Pi, right? With Priest League, it's the same. Why does that person get Pi and I don't? Oh well,
that's always going to be the case, though, regardless of whether they've got it or not. But it's just such an interesting concept of an ability.
I agree. I think it was awesome.
I think the problem is that too many of the combos were too disparaging. I think that's the issue. Like, for example, I think Affliction Warlock from a Resto Druid gets rejuve.
Yeah.
Whereas
I don't see it.
Whereas like the mage gets, I don't know what the mage gets, but I'm fairly sure the Resto Druid from a mage gets Ice Block, and I think from Warlocks, I feel like it's port, but I'm not sure. Something
Yeah, it's
along those
port.
lines. It's poor, yeah. So I mean, like, it's like, yeah, great, fantastic. I mean, that's cool and all, but like at the same time, block is so much better than port, 100%. Like you've got like a second trinket there. That's insane. Or however you want to do it, like an immunity that they don't normally have. So that's kind of disparaging. There's a difference between them. But if they were fairly homogenized across the board, at the end of the day, it's an example of a really cool concept that the devs have gone, actually, you know what? You guys reacted really bad to it. We're never touching it again. In the same way that you've kind of got that for the templates, which it's a shame. Like it is a shame, but they just don't do it. But I agree. Like the gearing is really good at the minute. We just need something that reduces the barrier to entry, which I suppose maybe the one button rotation does, in a way, at least for learning what to do.
Yeah.
But there should be more to kind of teach newbies where you got to go, like a bit more in like it doesn't need to be like classic anymore. You don't need to kind of like have to figure everything out. There should be something a bit more intuitive that kind of like, I don't know, like Khadgar's head, for example. Use that guy, get his little floaty little head, pop up and go, "Hello, champion," and then he tells you about, everything, or like Magni or whatever, and just like tells you that, okay, you need to queue some skirmishes to get the spark. That's how you get that. That's how you get that quest.
Just need to do it.
Something like that. Something
Just-
like that. Just like if PvP is a big part of it, help transition people in by doing that. And you can do the same for raids as well. There's loads of stuff for M plus and raids which nobody has any idea about when you join the game. Like Exile's Reach is great for learning the game, but what about once you get to Stormwind and you have absolutely no idea, or you get to end level and you have no idea what to do? Khadgar pops up and goes, "Welcome to the big boy leagues now. Here's what you do."
Champion, your gear looks a little green. If you get a spark, you can go over there and ask a work order to get a new piece of gear.
Exactly. I mean, genuinely, I want to kick Magni so hard, but I break my foot because he's made of diamond. But yeah, no, that's exactly it. Champion, Azeroth, here's your noobiness. He cries out for more blue gear. Anyway, there we go. Somebody clip that. Anyway.
Oh my gosh. So I know we said we were going to do about an hour. Just want to actually, one thing we haven't done since, again, the last episode, and it's going to be a little hard to figure this one out, but I just kind of want to still do it. The one thing you'd change.
Ooh.
So 11.2. What's one thing you would change?
I think I've got one. I'm
Go
going to say tier sets. I'm jumping in and say that before someone else has a tier sets. I think I would change our tier sets to PvP specific ones, and that you get those from the vault from doing like arena skirmishes or battleground, or like earning conquest basically from the week before or in general, and then the next week you can earn tier set again. They're guaranteed. Like you've got to reach a specific threshold, and then you guaranteed one piece of tier next week at random, whatever piece it might be. But that piece of tier is not the same as the PvE one. It's completely unrelated. It's a PvP specific tier set. That's what I would change.
All right.
You know, I'm inclined to agree with that because this season is extra confusing. For those of you who are unaware, tier sets this season are based off your hero spec, which adds a layer of complexity. Like, for instance, I play Resto Druid. I really like playing Keeper of the Grove, but the Wild Stalker tier set is significantly better. And so it feels hard to justify playing Keeper of the Grove when Wild Stalker just has a superior tier set. And I know some tier sets are, they have PvP modifiers, but some of them you can't really put a modifier on. Like, for instance, PvP, the PvP nerf this season is supposed to be 67%. So tier sets are supposed to be 33% effective in PvP. The Devastation Evoker tier set spawns 2 dragons that hit targets for you. How do you nerf that by 67%? Do you make it spawn like half of one dragon? You know, it's like how does that work? So some tier sets are harder, or some tier sets get less punished by the PvP modifier, which throws off some balance. So yeah, I'm gonna agree with Jake. We need a PvP tier set for sure.
All right.
United, some might say.
I wish that they leaned into the wraps and the whole phase diving, and that if you know, I know I said no new content, like we don't have content every patch, but I feel like this is a complete missed opportunity having like some sort of battleground or something where you can zip in and out of phase diving in a PvP way. And I know it's totally broken. Good and bad. Like if you kill somebody in phase diving because their healer's still in the other phase, or vice versa, you know, cross across a map and then pop back out behind them and completely ruin positioning, I think that would be pretty cool. And I don't know if it's a BG and have people like teleporting across a whole map or not it through phase diving, but at the same time I feel like it was a missed opportunity to use that technology in some PvP instance fashion. So that's one thing I would change, is that I would have, yeah, please Blizzard, make a some sort of Kazavesh-esque BG map with phase diving portals, so you can zip in and out and completely like just the mayhem of positioning a movement. I think is just so that'd be so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Sounds
if
cool,
any,
actually.
pardon me.
No, that sounds super cool, actually.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think it's something that you know, and then at least the cloak would have a bit of meaning beyond, because I think it's super nerfed in PvP. I think more time. I'm going to call you out again because he was posting in our Discord about the item level and the stat weights on it. Like the stats are just insane. So even though it's nerfed by a bit,
yeah,
the stats on it are really good.
And I think you can upgrade it above
Yep.
the item level of Conquest gear. So yeah, you just get Giga stat. Oh, also one pro tip.
Yep.
I learned this from Bicmex today. There's that like gem thing you put in your cloak, which determines its stat.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually upgrade that thing with work orders. There's if you go to the work orders, I forget what it's called. It's called like something threads of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. But yeah, you can actually upgrade that to get more stats. So
yeah, the
sure
one that's
to do
made
that.
by the tailors has a higher stat than the one you buy. So,
yes, and it's pretty cheap too.
yeah. So there you go. So we don't have any mounts or anything, or at least I don't. Do you, either of you? I know there were some mounts that were being given away with 11.2. Do you guys have anything to announce there, or you're done with your giveaways?
Oh, I did mine.
You did yours already? Okay.
I didn't have one.
Oh, okay. All right.
I've done
So-
my other ones too.
So on that, just for everybody who's listening, please make sure you are following us on definitely on X, because that's where we're definitely more social. And come on over to the Bonus Roll Production Discord. We have a channel there just for the show, and we do I like to try to give away there as well if I have enough codes. If anybody else does, but we have great conversations there anyways. So if you want to have lively conversation about PvP that's respectful and but thought provoking and definitely challenge some of your thought processes and theory craft some stuff, please come on, join the Discord. It's awesome. With that, I think we're done, guys. That was
This new format. This new format's strange. It's crazy.
I like it though.
It's efficient.
It is. Actually,
Efficient,
so
yeah.
again, to our listeners, tell us what you think. So whatever app you're using to listen to us, if there's a way to give feedback there, give us feedback. Tell us what you think about this new format. Think about the conversation. And then also, if not, X, Discord, we're over on Blue Sky now, technically pvp.bluesky. I'll probably make a post about this on Reddit on the slash World of PvP subreddit. So you can tell us there what you think. But yes, please give us feedback. Tell us what you think about this compared to the previous formats, and see if we're going down the right path or not. In the meantime, I'm going to ask Big. Can we tell people where they can find us?
Oh, absolutely, I can. You can contact us directly with a tweet to @technically_PvP or by an email to technicallypvp@gmail.com. You can also join our discussions on the Bonus Roll Productions Discord.
Yes.
And also, you can visit. Oh my God, was I not meant to come in then?
You're right there. You're right there.
Yeah, I'm so out of practice. Also, you can visit the Bonus Roll website to find the podcast directory with us and many other shows, great shows, in fact, at www.bonusroll.gg. This directory also has a review system, so if you don't want to tell us on X or on wherever you're listening, please head over there and tell everyone what you think of your favorite shows, including our own.
Indeed. And as always, links for those few things that still have links are going to be in the show notes. I want to thank everybody for listening, and we'll chat with you next time. Good night, everybody.
See ya.